I have never read such immature, if that's the right word, writing before. I am assuming that the demographic in which she's writing for is grade 6. Hi besties, welcome back to Book Mess. At the beginning of this video, you saw me read A Heart for Christmas by Sophie Germain. I got to chapter 3 and I decided to DNF it. I'm gonna leave this in a little free library. But to take over or replace the idea of this book, I was going to create my own advent calendar where I took a book that I wanted to read and then I wrapped each chapter individually. But the only way that I could actually think of doing that is to just put 2 pieces of paper on either side and then staple them. And I think that would look so bad, just like not cute or aesthetic at all. So I decided to do a few like blind dates with the book, I guess. I found 6 books that I either have on my radar or the complete opposite that I might be struggling to pick up without being forced, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to wrap those up, and then in the new year, hopefully I forget which books I wrapped, and then when I'm just in the mood for a little surprise, I can unwrap it and read it. It's currently 4:16, so it's gonna get dark very soon, so hopefully I can fly through this video a little bit. However, let's go over the books that I chose to wrap for the new year. First of all, I have A Man Called Ove by Fredrik Backman. This has been on my TBR for probably over 2 years, and I just have never wanted to pick it up really. The plot just seems kind of boring to me. Not in a way that I mean like it'll be boring for everyone. I just think for me, it just seems like something that I'm not super interested in. However, Fredrik Backman is something that I am very interested in. Beartown is on my immediate TBR, so I figure if I wrap this one up and I'm like forced to read it, I will end up loving it. I don't know much about this book other than the fact that Ove is just like a grumpy old man. I do think it's going to give the same vibes of House on the Cerulean Sea. And I did really like that book, although it was slightly boring and it also had magical realism in it. This one does not. And there's also a movie with Tom Hanks after that I can watch. So Nate has actually read the first 2 chapters of this book and he didn't speak poorly about them. So that's one of the books. Next is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I don't pick up thrillers very often. When I do, I usually really like them. I've heard nothing but extremely high reviews of this, so I am excited to read it, but because I don't pick them up very often, I feel like if I wrap it up and then I let it come to me, it'll be really, really good. So according to the back of the book, this is crazy. This girl shoots her husband in the face and then never speaks again. Like doesn't say a word. You're following a psychotherapist who's like really, really intrigued by this story, and I think the psychotherapist is like working with the wife slash murderer to see what happened and see if he can get her to speak after all these years. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a TV show or a movie I saw, but yeah, that's one of the books I'm going to wrap up. Next is Unsteady by Peyton Corinne. I just bought this book actually, and I don't have any time for it right now because I am going to Florida very shortly. However, I think this would be perfect to read in like January and February when there's still snow on the ground and I'm in like my most depressive state because it's so cold out and all I will have is school. I'm pretty sure this is about an NHL player and a figure skater romance, maybe. Cute. Next I have The Hotel Nantucket by Ellen Hildebrand. I just said in my last video that I really want to read some Ellen Hildebrand next year, and I know this is pretty summery, but I think if I start my Ellen Hildebrand earlier in the year, it'll excite me to read more in the summer and it'll feel less pressured. And I also just think like a little imaginative escape from the wintry Canadian early months of the year that I will be stuck with. I think this will be pretty good. Fresh off of a bad breakup, Lisbeth is named general manager of the Hotel Nantucket. I'm pretty sure most of Ellen Hildebrand's work is just surrounded by that cozy, small east side summer in Nantucket, and it includes like gossip and drama of people in that town, and that's just super fun. I have 3 books of Ellen Hildebrand's on my TBR and I need to start reading them. So I think this will be good to read even in the earlier months. And then I have The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. I read Better Than the Movies this year and I loved it. And this is the other one that I have. I'm just not as intrigued by this book. I do know that Better Than the Movies has a sequel. I think it's called Nothing Like the Movies. I don't know why I have this one and not that one, but I think this is more of like a Groundhog Day situation where the same day is repeated over and over again. I've never read a book like that before. I just think it's a little bit difficult to pick up. Also, this is based around Valentine's Day. I really hope I unwrap this in February. February, right near Valentine's Day. That would be perfect. And it's the only hardcover, so if I happen to remember that in a month and a half to 2 months, maybe I'll cheat a little bit. Okay, I'm excited about that one now. And then lastly, I have The Mistake by Elle Kennedy. It's one of my goals to continue reading series that I've started, and I have started the Off-Campus series this year. This is the second book in that series, and I could totally just pick it up on my own because I really did love the series, but I like the idea of letting it come to me. And I think it'll be really exciting if I have a book that I know that I'll love in my pile of books to unwrap. So here are all the books that I'm wrapping up. And hopefully when I do unwrap them, I'll actually like them. I don't know if I'll do a video on it or if I'll just kind of let myself mood read blind dates, but we'll see when the time comes. Now I'm going to wrap them, and it's probably going to be dark by the time I'm done wrapping them, but let's see. I have really cute wrapping paper. Cute. And then this one has wreaths with bows everywhere. And I also have a bunch of little ribbon to put around them. Okay, let's start wrapping. Guys, all of the books are wrapped up. Also, the fact that I said I hope I forget what books are wrapped up in a month, I forgot what books are wrapped up in the middle of wrapping them. They actually look so cute. And obviously I'll reuse the bows. I have like a baby shower next year and birthdays and stuff, so bows will be reused, but they look so cute. I don't know where I'll store them because my bookshelf is pretty organized, like to a T, and I can't just shove them right back where they belong because first of all I don't know which books are which, and also if I do that then I'll just know what books they are. So I do need to keep them separate. Maybe I will redo my bookshelf again just to have an area for these, but I'm excited. Oh my god, I'm excited. That is all. Hello. That is all for the video today. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you when I'm 25. Isn't that crazy?